Hello there! This is LEGO Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys my review of the LEGO Dune Atreides Royal Ornithopter. It is set number 10327, comes with 1,369 pieces, and is rated ages 18 and up. Now this set retails in the United States for $164.99 and in Canada for $214.99. Now without further ado, let's kick off this review, starting with the box. Taking a look at the front of the box, you have the Ornithopter in flying position, looking really awesome, I have to say. And what's really cool is how the wings, transcend to the top of the box here. Just some nice attention to detail there that I think really does enhance the set overall. Like, at least the box art, I should say, with the marketing of the set. Really cool. You also, being a 18 plus set, have it on the black box art with a sort of yellow light emanating from the background there, which to me sort of symbolizes, Dune, the planet of Dune, or Arrakis. How it's, a sandy planet, essentially. Flipping the box around, you can see the Ornithopter in its landed position with all the minifigures included in the set. You have the Ornithopter from the film, and then showing some of the functionalities of the set. I wouldn't call it play features. This is definitely mostly a set meant to display and, just having some really fun features to show off if you want to. Now, it does also have the listed wingspan, which is 80 centimeters or 31 inches across, and then its height, or I guess the length of the vehicle, is 56 centimeters or 22 inches across from the back to the front of the ship. So definitely quite a large LEGO set here. Taking a look at our first minifigure, we have Baron Harkonnen, who is obviously sort of the big bad of the first two Dune films that have released. So definitely a needed inclusion in this set, and looks really awesome. And of course, as everyone else has made the joke, we finally figured out where the LEGO Star Wars waist capes have been going to. As you have this massive cloth piece here, and it splits into multiple different places. Like, it's really awesome that they included this piece, because they definitely could have just, printed his tunic on his chest, gave him normal legs, maybe printed the legs and not had him have this, stand with this, I guess, skirt piece. I don't really know what it's supposed to be represented in the film, but, this really long piece for when he stands really tall, that just makes him look really imposing, but definitely enhances the minifigures that they included it. Now, as has been brought up, it is just a simple black legs and torso print on the bottom. If I can, actually, I'll have to take it off in order to show that. Forgot that it is specially designed so it doesn't come off super easy. But as you can see, no extra printing there. Definitely could have been printed, but wasn't, I guess, necessary to have it printed, especially with this large piece. This is how people are going to show it off. So overall, definitely a pretty cool design here from LEGO, that they went all the way with this character here. And again, it's nothing special with the legs, like no really long leg piece. It's just nice, clear, translucent piece attached to regular minifigure legs. Taking a look at our next minifigure, we have Dune Atreides, and overall this is a really well designed minifigure with some great printed detail on the torso to the belt to the legs, with really the only missing printing being his arms, which is definitely disappointing. Feels like all these characters could have gotten arm printing, to be honest, except maybe Lady Jessica and Duncan Ido, since they probably didn't need it. But I think the other characters in these outfits could have definitely gotten arm printing. That would have enhanced the figure. But at the end of the day, they did not. It does have a double-sided face here, which looks pretty cool. I actually almost would have preferred if they gave him his, poison face, when he sort of sacrifices himself in the film. I guess spoiler alert, but I mean, if you're watching this video, I've assumed you've seen Dune. And our next minifigure is Lady Jessica, who's the concubine of Leto Atreides. Basically, not a wife, but not more than a girlfriend, I guess. Basically, more than a mistress, I think is the best way to put it. Like someone he's settled with, but not married, since she doesn't have really any political power, essentially. But has some very nice printing detail on the dress piece here, and just in general. Now you are given an extra hair piece And she does have a double-sided face without the gold lines on her head there. And you can see it facing around with the gold sort of mesh that they wear on their faces. But definitely, overall, very nice figure. Our next character is Duncan Ido, and he's in his sort of regular outfit, you know, his nightgown, essentially, I think is what it is, since obviously the Atreides clan is sort of ambushed in the middle of the night, so it's not like he had a lot of time to get dressed in his regular outfit. So definitely an interesting choice. I'm of the mind that I think all these characters probably should have got their sort of sand outfits, but I can get LEGO's preference to, you know, have differences. Otherwise, a lot of the characters would have looked the same, essentially. So you can definitely give some of the characters different outfits from the other minifigures if you so wanted to, like give Lady Jessica Chani's outfit and Leto and Paul Atreides Duke Leto's outfit to give them that look if you wanted to. And I guess you could also give Duncan Idaho Leto's outfit as well if you wanted to give them that look. But obviously this is an outfit we see him wearing in the film and just is slightly different than what the other characters have, so that's probably why LEGO went with it. Even though it's definitely probably the least interesting outfit just based on what it is. Our next character is Grin Hick, who is Paul Atreides' sort of mentor, along with Duncan Ido, but this is the main character we see sort of training Paul in the film. And really cool, obviously they give him this nice shoulder piece that like makes him look a bit more imposing, a bit bigger. Really cool. Face print again, I think really does a good job capturing Josh Brolin's likeness as well. Does have double-sided face print there, which looks really nice, and just in general, like really cool. And of course you can take off the shoulder piece, which reveals basically the same printing underneath, which is pretty nice. It's just gives you the option to have it off if you wanted to, but I think the shoulder plate piece really does enhance the figure. And obviously included with him is a sort of machete piece, which is pretty cool. Our next character, and probably the one that didn't need to be included the most, like they could have swapped this out with any other number of characters, is Dr. Leet Kes, who's sort of overseeing the transition of power of you know, the Atreides and the Harkonnens of the control of Arrakis in the film. So she's a very interesting character. Obviously, only isn't really a major one in the film overall at the end of the day, but still was, you know, in the film, so definitely worthy of inclusion in this set. But was one that probably could have been passed over for any others, like perhaps another Harkonnen character, or really any other named character. You know, just probably could have been anyone else. In general, I think the set could have had, you know, 2 or 3 other minifigures included. So I'm glad that they include this one. I just think if push came to shove, she was the one that could have been replaced the most out of this set of characters. Does have a double-sided face print with the sort of mask here, which looks pretty cool. Does have this really cool cloth piece. So again, another cloth piece included in this set, which enhances the figure. Nice back printing there, which is similar to the other characters included. With these sort of sand suits is how I'm going to call them, you know, to survive the harsh Arrakis desert. And also these, you know, sort of poles to traverse the terrain, which is pretty cool. And our next minifigure is Chie. So we got another Lego Zendaya, essentially. Definitely a needed inclusion in this set, and looks pretty darn good, I have to say. Obviously, again, all of these printing is going to be near identical, if not identical. But you have this nice white blade here. Really nice face print with the blue eyes, really makes it unique. Does also have the mask, same as Dr. Leet Kes, so that's nice. But overall, just really nice minifigure and good inclusion. And finally, we have Paul Atreides in his sort of, I don't know if you want to call it ceremonial outfit, or maybe it's even better classified as just his pajamas in a way. Like, this is the outfit that I really think should have been different. I get, again, why they wanted to have something different, because then all the characters would have looked the same, but I think there's a reason for that, because we see them in these outfits majority of the film. So definitely feel like he should have had the regular, you know, sand outfit, essentially. Obviously, like I said, you can switch these characters and give Paul his outfit essentially, but obviously that's not what it's intended for. This is his intended body, so just a little thing there, but really wish we ever got like extra torso pieces, or just in general this was a different outfit, especially since he's basically in that other outfit for the entire second film. And yeah, just little things that I think would have made the set a little bit better. Still cool to get him in this outfit, I guess, but as you can tell by what I'm saying, I still think it was the wrong choice here, specifically with this character. So overall, you're left with a pretty solid minifigure lineup, but still feels like we're a couple minifigures short at its price point. I really feel like we should have had Rabin, Harkonnen, perhaps maybe even Stilgar or Furfur, or, you know, just, I feel like we're missing at least 2 characters that could have been included in the set that I think really would have made the set a lot better. Still think this is an absolutely amazing set, but just feels like, you know, there's so many characters in the film. Obviously, you're not going to get all of them, but feels like we could have gotten at least 2 other figures in the set that would have really made it, to me, a bit more complete. Almost forgot to take a look at the manual. As you can see, you have the nice image of the Dune Atreides Ornithopter, which is definitely pretty nice. And what's nice about this is I also think this isn't a rendered image. Could be wrong, but compared to playsets, it looks a lot cleaner compared to what we see with the rendered images, so that's pretty nice there. Generally, 18 plus sets get better printing on the manuals, even though they aren't the same as they used to be. You have some nice imagery of the Ornithopter from the film, a nice write-up of all the characters here, which is definitely pretty nice there, and some nice sort of images from the film as well. Looks really cool overall. And lastly, we'll take a look at the extra pieces before taking a look at the Ornithopter. As you can see, quite a nice assortment, including some extra, you know, cleavers and swords here. That definitely really nice to get as extra pieces here. Obviously, you also have a brick separator, which is of course necessary in a set as complex as this, but overall, a nice assortment of pieces here. Now let's take a look at the Ornithopter. And I have to say, this is absolutely an amazing set. Now, this is, for all intents and purposes, a Technic set, described as a display set. Has a lot of Technic pieces that definitely is necessary in a set as complex as this. But if you're not a fan of Technic, you know, you might find the build a little bit stressful at times. I definitely feel like there's elements I'm like, did I do that right? Especially, I'll show one of the main features that I think might be sort of, you know, you gotta get it perfect, otherwise it doesn't work like it's supposed to, but still can work to an extent, which if you don't know what I mean, I'll show in a few minutes here. But just taking a look at the actual model here, just really outstanding look. Like, there's one main drawback, and that's stuff like this, you know, right there and right there, and, you know, right there in the top with the red and the yellow sort of visible. If you can't tell what I mean being able to see all these Technic pieces, and I think that's the main drawback of this set. LEGO always uses, you know, these different colored Technic pieces to, you know, make it easier building. And don't get me wrong, this is definitely a complex build, but I feel like they definitely went overboard with the colored pieces. It'd be one thing if you could see some red and some yellow here and there, but the fact you can see, you know, this orange piece here, this blue one here, even these gray Technic pieces here, I think really is distracting. Like, even at the end here, you can see this yellow piece here. Just little things like that that I think really makes the set, you know, you just notice it when you look at it, you know, and like, I think it's really visible compared to what I would expect. Like, it feels like LEGO went overboard. Like, normally it wouldn't be this visible. And don't get me wrong, it is a Technic set. They needed, I understand, making it easier, and it's harder to hide Technic when that's basically what the set is. You know, you're not gonna have plates covering this stuff up like you normally would on larger LEGO Star Wars UCS sets, for example. You know, the UCS Venator has a lot of Technic I know of, but it's all covered in plates, so you can't see it. In this case, it's very visible and is unfortunately kind of distracting, and really, to me, is probably the main thing taking the set away from being a top tier set and display model is that. Now, of course, you could use different parts, you know, swap them out as you see fit, Problem is, a lot of them you don't really know when. I guess I shouldn't say that. You know when you probably would want to switch it, but it's just why Lego thinks, you know, they have to spell out an 18 plus set as much as they did in this one. Like, again, probably one of the harder, you know, sets at its size at just 1,300 pieces that I've had to build. Definitely took a lot longer than what a normal 1,300 piece set would take me to build. But in saying that, I still think they went overboard on these part usages, and my trouble with the set wasn't due to having these colored pieces. It was just, you know, it's just a hard build, and I think, you know, it's irrelevant if it's a blue Technic rod or a red Technic rod if they swapped it with black or gray to make it more in tune with the actual set, its color scheme, and less distracting. But that's enough talking about that. You know, you obviously heard my thoughts on that. Overall, though, this is an awesome model. You have some great, you know, detail here. Which is not a sticker. This is a printed element, which is awesome to see, and it's on both sides, as I'll show in a moment here. The detail of the, you know, Ornithopter sort of design, the wings here, which is really, really cool. You can see the back of the vehicle here, just really excellent. And as you can see, the other parts here that I was, you know, pointing about with the yellow is on both sides there. Clipping the set, you can see the other side with the, I believe that's the Atreides house logo there, so definitely nice to have included. You have the really nice cockpit area design here, which looks really clean and utilizes a bunch of different parts that makes it, you know, work seamlessly, I have to say. And of course, be remiss to not talk about the landing gear that is included. That is retractable, and I'll show that off as well in a moment. But just in general, really, really awesome design here. Now just taking a look at how you open up the cockpit in order to fit your minifigures inside, and it's quite simple. You just lift up these from the side angle, as you can see. Now it is slightly breakable, so you can't lift it up like too high, otherwise this set will come off, but easy enough to place back on there, as you can see. And then the way you fit your characters in is you basically just have to pull this piece out, is the easiest way to do it. And then you can place your characters into the cockpit areas. So we'll have Duke Leto and Paul Atreides here riding in the vehicle. And then, as you can see, obviously has a nice marking there, which I don't mind that at all, to make it easy to place it inside. And you can see your characters in position there. Close it up, and you can see them inside the cockpit area, which looks pretty nice, as you can see there. Now that is the only, you know, area for your minifigures. Obviously, you don't have room for all your minifigures in the set, which is somewhat disappointing, but at the ship's, you know, utilization of Technic, it just wasn't possible. And I think overall, the fact you can fit 2 minifigures in the set is, you know, great achievement from LEGO with how they had to design the cockpit. As you can see, again, just looking at it from the front there, looks really, really awesome. Now, as I mentioned before, it does have retractable landing gear. So how do you utilize that? There's actually this part right here, this, you know, piece here, and you just turn it. And as you see, as that happens, just gotta move my hand at the right angle to make it so I don't block it as I do it. It's a lot easier moving it just like that. There you go. It is normally seamless. Of course, I'm doing this one-handed in a different way than I normally would, but you just turn that dial, and to move it into landed position, you just turn it the other way. So definitely pretty nice there. And this is how the vehicle looks like with the wings not in flying mode, but the vehicle in basically flying position with the landing gear extended. So how do you extend the wings? Well, quite simply, you push this part forward. Of course, it is much easier when you are holding the set up, so that is what I'll do. And just like that, you are in flying position here. Just looking absolutely amazing there. Like, it like you can just see like the wingspan is just absolutely massive there. Like it is really extraordinary looking and really awesome. Of course, unfortunately, unless you have a really large display, chances are you're only going to be able to display this set in landed position. But being able to take it out and show this off in flying mode is definitely awesome and just looks outstanding, I have to say. Just a great job by LEGO here. Now, there is one other functionality that was included that definitely was a surprise, and that is the ability to make the wings flap like they do in the film. Now, what I found is that it is kind of hard to get it started, to the point where I worry that I messed up an aspect of the build along the way, but I rebuilt the set and it still had the same issue. So basically, the way you activate the wings essentially is you obviously hold the set in the air and you have to get into a rhythm. But what I have found is if you have to sort of shake it and then you can get it into a rhythm. It's hard to maintain the rhythm to keep it in flying mode, but I've been told you have to just, you know, you can't just keep going like back and forth. You have to like go at a different angle, like different times. But I found you gotta shake it first and then you can kind of get it to go. Again, it's not perfect for me. Maybe I'm just pressing it too often. I'm not sure. Like I said, I took the set apart and rebuilt it, and both times it had this issue. So I have no idea. Maybe I just have a faulty mechanism somewhere along the way. But basically, when you press this down at different intervals, it's supposed to make it flap just like it does in the film. But I find you have to give it an extra push, and then you can, you know, make it move a little bit better. Of course, I'll zoom out just to give it a better look here. And obviously, probably seems like it's mostly me shaking it that's causing the move, which it is partly, but it is me also pushing at the same time that's causing the wings to go up a little bit more than they would otherwise. But like I said, you can't just press it, spam it, otherwise it does nothing. So just little things like that. So I don't think it's a perfect mechanism. It's cool that they included it, but I don't know if I messed up along the way or what, but it just hasn't worked for me perfectly. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be using that feature very often at all. In fact, probably will only show it off when people want to look at the set. And then other than that, it's going to be in landed position for me on display. But to put it back into sort of landed mode, you just pull it back and seamlessly comes in. Like that alone is just awesome. And then again, just to show the landing gear, you have this knob right here. You push it out until you click it in place, and then it's good to go. The LEGO Dune Atreides Ornithopter is a technic marvel, and it really is an incredible set. Like just in general, I think this is outstanding. Like I said, it does feel like it's missing 2 minifigures, and while the really cool wing fluttering feature is cool, it's not perfect in my experience, and I've definitely seen a lot of people have issues online. So I don't know if it's just, you know, some mechanisms work better than others, or if I just built it wrong somehow twice. But like I said, it's not perfect, but it's really cool. And to me, the cooler part is just putting the wings in flying position than the fluttering aspect, though I appreciate LEGO's effort there. At its price point, I think this is outstanding. Like I said, missing just a couple minifigures. Such a large Dune lineup, I get they wanted to streamline it, but I think having a couple more figures from the Dune film or books would have really enhanced the set and made this even more of a must-have for Dune fans. And with how popular Dune, especially Dune Part 2 was, I have to assume we're going to get more Dune sets, especially with the rumored Dune 3 to come out in 2025 now. So I have to assume we're going to see more Dune sets. when this released, it seemed like a one-off, like with how popular that film is. I could see LEGO wanting to get their hands on releasing some more sets. But I guess we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case and gives us a chance to get more characters from the film or not. But on its own, I think the set is easily a 9 out of 10 for me. Like, just absolutely amazing set. With that being said, that's all my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on the LEGO Dune Atreides Royal Ornithopter in the comments down below. Do you guys know what I did wrong with the flying, fluttering mechanism? Do you agree that we are missing a couple more characters like Stilgar or Revan? Maybe even the mother character, the leader of the Ben Gesserit characters, etc. Or am I out to lunch and you think this is a perfect minifigure lineup? Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.